Verse 8 again, please. Verse 8. Check it again, sisters and brothers. There's some power in just this verse. Look at it again. The one that trusts God, that's what verse 7 says, shall be like a tree planted by the water, which shall spread out its roots by the river. Get this. And will not fear when heat comes, but his leaf will be green, and will not be anxious or worried in the year of drought. Somebody say it don't matter. Nor will cease from yielding fruit. We're in a conversation about using the acrostic focus based upon the word of man, the things that God has planned for those who love him. Well, if we are going to get there, it is going to require a bit of abstinence, a bit of stubbornness, if you will. There are times, sisters and brothers, when you know that you're right, you know that you're right, you know that you're right, and even though you know that you are right, still the devil will send people along to try to change your mind. Fact of the matter is, when you get the word and it is planted in your heart, you can be sure that somebody is going to come along on assignment from the devil in hell to try to pluck that word out of your consciousness. I know I'm right about that one, because I'm not only one that has ever experienced receiving the word of the Lord only to have the exact opposite thought to enter into my mind. Well, I came to tell somebody in the house today that when you know that you are right, when you know that you are on the Lord's side, when you know that he is working and he is giving you the word, you have to stand your ground. Somebody said that, stand your ground. The mind of God through the mouth of the prophet to the people of God. Let me say that for you again. It is from the mind of God through the mouth of the prophet for the people of God. God has something. God talks, but we don't listen because we grown. And can't nobody tell us what to do. God talks and we don't listen. And we follow our itching ears until we can find somebody to tell us what we want to hear. God talks, but we don't listen because we already know what we know. And God already told us what we know. And can't nobody teach us nothing new. I know what I said, English teachers, and can't nobody teach us nothing new. But if God was talking in the 6th century BC, and if God sent Jesus to talk, so God was talking in the 1st century AD, and if God was talking in the 20th century AD through Martin King and Malcolm X, if God was talking then, can I tell you, baby, that in October of 2014, God is still. God has something to say about you and your situation. Here it is. See, the difference between God talking and the way we talk is when we talk, we have to speak a language that somebody taught us. When we talk, we have to speak according to thought processes that we learned from somebody else. You won't even look like what you've been through. When God talks, it's life. Are we still together? Check it again. Jeremiah is sent to minister at a very difficult time. Judah is in a crisis. God speaks from the mind of God through the mouth of the prophet of God that the people would maintain their focus or become obstinate. Don't miss it, because it appears to be that in a state of crisis, critical question that hangs above the head of the believer is, who will you trust? I'm making it up. It's right there in your text. Who will you trust? God says, don't trust man. Now, you got to understand that when God talks about man, when God mentions Adam, when God mentions man, he really means humankind. In the real sense, what he's talking about is the system that humankind have set up. And so what he says is, don't trust human systems. I think I'm feeling that a little bit. Recognize that human systems will draw you in to chew you up and spit you out. I've recognized, sisters and brothers, that in human systems, right? Ebola only becomes a crisis when it's going to leave West Africa. But as long as it stays in Africa, it's all right. I recognize that in human systems, some of those, not all, some of those who are supposed to serve and protect are really riding around the streets of Baton Rouge, hunting whom they may devour. I recognize that in human systems, big banks are too big to fail, but poor communities don't matter. I recognize that in human systems, they say, walk down the aisle, make a public profession. We're going to dip you in some water, sit you in this seat, just say what we say, do what we do, sing when we sing, pray when we pray. Don't worry about relationship with Jesus Christ. We want you to be in religion with the church. In human systems will get you sent to hell, but God's systems will get you into heaven. That's all right. I'm going to preach anyway. In case you hadn't figured it out yet, I'm really feeling this thing, so I'm going to preach till I get happy. And if you come with me, that's good. Somebody say we have a choice to make. So check what happens. God says, don't trust human systems. In fact, he says, those who trust human systems are cursed. Oh, we got to hang out there. Those who trust human systems are cursed. Now you got to come up, because see, we've been watching television too much and looking at that stuff on Facebook too much. Somebody who is cursed, it doesn't mean your ear is going to fall off. I keep trying to teach you, you are too blessed to be cursed. Ain't nobody curse your bank account. Listen, I don't care what they bury in your front yard. Nobody has the power to curse you. Y'all playing on me this morning. I told you before, let me say again. I've told you before, let me say again. If you want to see a mad preacher, put something in my food. We gonna see in the end. That's not in the notes. Y'all forget. Pray for your boy. Pray for your boy. Pray for him. When the Lord mentions curse through the prophet Jeremiah, what he's saying is you won't have room enough to be you. Remember the context. Babylon has their sights set on Judah. When God says you are cursed, what he's saying is you won't be able to make decisions for yourself. When God says that you are cursed, what the Lord is saying is not only will you not have enough room to be you, not only will you not be able to make decisions but for yourself, but your future is in jeopardy. That's what cursed means. Are we still together? So God says if you trust in human systems, you will look up and you won't have enough room to be yourself. Fact of the matter is you'll be wearing Paul Lawrence Dunbar's mask that grins, lies. And you'll be a false pretender trying to please people that don't love you in the first place. And they grin, as my grandmother Clara would say, they grinning and smiling in your face. When you trust, when you depend upon human systems, it will render you in a state where somebody's making decisions that won't have any say-so about it. The decisions that they make will benefit them and they won't benefit you. That's cursed.